Welcome to another session of Technology by Performix. I'm Ken Umansky, your host, and today we'll explore more of the world of technology. My guest today is Nikolay Filichkin, the co-founder and chief business officer of TechKNOWlogy, a cutting-edge infrastructure company transforming access to compute by financializing GPU assets. With over a decade of experience in technology, M&A, and strategic partnerships, Nikolay plays a key role in creating the financial ecosystem for compute as an asset class. Prior to TechKNOWlogy, Nikolay spent 6+ years at Xzola, where he led strategic partnerships and helped scale the company from 200 to over 1,200 employees. He drove 5 acquisitions, launched 3 new product lines, and helped expand Xzola's global presence across gaming and digital commerce. Nikolay is a builder and operator who understands how to take ideas from 0 to 1 and then scale them. At TechKNOWlogy, he leads business development and investor relations, helping institutional allocators, partners gain access to the financial upside of AI infrastructure during this key period of growth. Nikolay has a BA in business law and marketing from California State University in Northridge, and has attended the executive education program at Harvard Business School and Wharton Executive Education. Welcome, Nikolay, to Technology, and thanks for joining me today.
And thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate you going over my bio. That was very kind of you.
Well, it's an impressive bio, and I really wanted our audience to know who you are. You've created a unique idea for how a company can take advantage of their computer hardware investment.
Mhm.
Before we get started with questions, give me a little brief explanation of what you're doing at TechKNOWlogy.
Sure, yeah. So to your point and on the bio piece, yes, my name is Nick. I am the co-founder of Compute Labs. And at Compute Labs, on one side, we help data center operators, the neoclouds, the data centers, the hyperscalers, whoever knows how to operate a GPU, we help them get scale. We help them get more GPUs because generally speaking, most of them have just a queue of customers who are hoping to use their GPUs, but they need more capital to actually get access to those GPUs. What we do is we help them with raising the capital. Sometimes we'll help them with data center or hosting relationships, and sometimes we'll help them with design clustering, things like that. But generally, they need help with capital. What we do is we button up those requests of theirs. We put it into like a nice little pretty investor package, and then we offer that to investors in a structured product or a private placement. So we then talk to investors and we say, hey, there's this really awesome operator. Do you want to own the GPUs that are working with them? You'll get the revenue, you'll get the profits, you'll also get the liquidation rights to the GPUs because they're yours, they're your assets. And so what we do is we connect them where we have the GPUs on our balance sheet, but belongs to the investor, and we lease it to the operator so that when the operator is servicing their customer, growing their business, the investor gets to retain the profits and the rights to the GPU.
That's cool. That,
Thank you.
that's really cool. Is anybody else doing that?
Um, Probably, probably in some way or another, you can one way say that we're a financing layer, and there's tons of different companies who are financing GPUs. Are there companies doing it the way we are with allowing institutional players to like own a piece of GPU? Yes, but more on like a direct approach. Some data centers are doing it themselves, and some just don't know how. So we're going to be helping all of them instead of them having to develop their own financial skills to do that.
Hmm. Really interesting. Um, why does compute infrastructure matter more now than ever?
Yeah, it's a really good question. In today's age, and we know that compute demand is just getting heavier and heavier. We see new models coming out every day. New models require additional GPU capacity, additional infrastructure, and we think that like, okay, this is enough. No, but the truth is that we just get more and more demand like every month. We've seen just recently, yesterday, NVIDIA released their earnings reports, and they have blown up even more, like over 64% in additional gains. So demand is increasing surprisingly, and it just shows that AI is becoming bigger and better, and we need more infrastructure to support more growth.
And why didn't I invest in NVIDIA? Would you have that answer? I wish you
I
some.
wouldn't have that answer, but I would ask myself, why didn't I invest in Bitcoin? I just didn't know. And like it was, I wasn't thinking about it.
Absolutely risk, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean to financialize AI?
Yeah, it's another good question. So, to financialize AI, it's a neat little slogan that we're using for a part of our marketing, and effectively, it means to turn a illiquid asset that is sitting in a data center into a financial instrument. Because it's really hard to buy a GPU and invest into one and get its profits. So, what we do that for the investor. We turn a illiquid asset into something that is liquid and an investment, and that can be traded as well, subject to securities laws, of course.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, with what you're doing, trust is really critical. How do you build that trust amongst your different business partners, like investors, AI operators, or even the data centers themselves?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's actually a topic that we have chatted amongst our team internally. Radical transparency is one. Transparency is super important, especially in a finance world. We have to be honest with our operators that, hey, this isn't enough details to get investment. Please provide more. Here's how we'll give them some information on how to present a better offer. Other times we have to tell operators like, this type of deal isn't as attractive as others and it won't get funded as fast as others. With the investor side, what we say is this is the kind of operator that could use some funding. It's not going to last long. If you want to own a GPU, you got to do it quick because these other capital sources will go and take their deals. So a lot of transparency in deal flow, but also quick turnaround. I think one thing I've learned in my career is people trust you if you're quick to respond.
So how are you telling the marketplace that you exist and what you're doing? I mean, standard advertising is not going to do it. How do you do that?
That's a really good question. I mean, we're learning that every day, honestly. We're still going through that. But in the short side, we have a really strong BD team. We're good at partnerships. We've hired the right people that been in these spaces. So we have a partnerships director who's been in a data center space and goes to conferences, messages the network that he's grown. But a lot of it is through referrals or through channel sales. I mean, like, hey, that company needs support. That company needs support. Hey, my buddy here, he needs some GPUs. Can you help? So that part has grown quite well. We've been growing that pipeline really, really strong. Now we're doing the same with the investor side, which is like, hey, that investor is looking to get a good return. That investor is curious about AI. That investor is trying to learn more about GPUs. So a lot of it is just through conferences, cold outreach, using our network. But it's tough. You're right. We're building a market.
Yeah, I mean you're educating a market, so that may
Certainly.
cover. Do you have a relationship with certain GPU manufacturers?
Yeah, we did actually just get off on a line with NVIDIA right before this. We have a relationship with them. We are on their Inception program, which is really nice. That gives us some perks. We also do speak with the OEM or the original manufacturers, like there's Dell, Lenovo, Supermicro, and all of them. We must form relationships with everybody because we need GPUs, so we have to buy them.
So let's go look at the institutional investors, where I guess the majority of your money must come from.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, what do they care about when it comes to investing in AI infrastructure?
Yeah, so the first thing, of course, is going to be the projected return or the yield or the internal rate of return. So the first thing is like, hey, how much profit can I make off this? After that is then, well, is that reliable? Is there good risk with that? How can I prove that I'll actually make that return? So first is money, and then can you prove it? So what we talk about with these investors is a lot of risk mitigation, making sure that they feel comfortable in their investment. Oftentimes it'll be, if it's a on-demand deal, then it'll be historical data on utilization or market data on the pricing of that GPU and how often it's used. Other times it could be contracts. So if an operator happens to have a contract with a long-term customer, that can go a really long way. In another case, it could be just simply, hey, this is a super experienced operator. They've been doing this before. They're just now growing their business. Or this is a new startup and they have a ton of support. It gets really creative the earlier the company is. So we're trying to constantly find new additional risk mitigation strategies for investors.
Are you investing outside the US or is this just a domestic operation?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do offer um our services to operators globally. And then when it comes to selling these products or investments to investors, for the United States, we are subject to US SEC guidelines. So we are selling securities in some sense. And for other projects, we might just be selling non-securities. It depends on each deal. But when it comes to securities, only accredited investors in the United States, and then the local securities laws subject to each country. So the UK might have their own securities laws, Germany might have their own. We're going to follow those regulations, but we are open to selling globally.
Okay, great. So what's your long-term vision for your company?
Yeah. So we start with compute now, and then we move on to future illiquid assets and after that. So GPUs now, maybe tomorrow we could do solar or nuclear or data centers itself, whatever it takes for infrastructure to grow. We want to be in there. We want to turn traditionally just sitting assets into something liquid.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a plan, and unfortunately, we're out of time for today. 15 minutes goes past fast pretty quickly. Thank you for giving my audience an understanding of how they can use their GPUs as an investable asset and how to look at financializing an AI infrastructure. I got to get that word financializing. I think you've created a new word for me.
That's it.
How can our listeners contact you if they have questions?
Yeah, LinkedIn is really good. I'm quite active there, but also email. My email is nick@computelabs.ai and nick@computelabs.ai. And we're pretty active on X. Our website is up. So by all means, reach out in any capacity. We're happy to chat.
Terrific. Thanks again. And for my audience, don't miss the next episode of Technology, when again we'll discuss how cutting edge technology is being implemented across many different industries and the results it's having with these companies. That's really at the genesis of what we're about, is talking about not how the technology works, but basically how technology that's been implemented and what kind of results companies are getting with that investment. Remember to please contact Performix Business Solutions at performixbiz.com if you need any help with any technology challenge, large or small. I'm your host, Ken Umansky, and until we meet again on another technology podcast, please keep innovating.